and welcome to Chain Reactions, a weekly live stream from Myosin XYZ, the leading global marketing network, and hosted by yours truly, Blake, and my co-host, Polina. Tune in each week as we jam on the latest happenings in the wild and wonderful world of Web3. We're live on Unlonely.app every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, and release the pod every following week on Tuesdays. Now, let's talk Chain Reactions. How are you guys doing today? What's the latest?
Jam. Welcome to Chain Reactions, episode 9.
Yeah. we had to think about that one. Yeah, me too. Yeah, joining us today, we have one of our members, Adelia, a special guest, and who knows, maybe a recurring guest. I think we like Adelia, and she crushes it, so it could be fun.
Yeah. So today we are gonna talk about Korea Blockchain Week, Token, Breakpoint. I feel like a lot has happened in the past 2 weeks, like a few months worth of even Web3, like 3 conferences kind of like right one after another. It's a lot, and I haven't been on those. You guys have been. The vibe that I'm getting from Twitter, from everywhere else, is very disjointed, and it's really hard to paint the picture. One thing I got for sure is too many events. I think, Adelia, you tweeted also, too many events, too many people, drained, just like overwhelmed. So how was it for you guys?
Where do we start? Adelia, you want to kick it off? Also, by the way, I just want to say, reporting live from Myosin Bali. We are recovering after, sponsored by Bintang, local beer. Not really, but maybe if we shield it enough, they'll send us some extra beer. So
you should send some to New York so that you can continuously have it on stream.
It's just always sponsored by Bintang. We got to put it in the thing. Yeah. Anyways, over to you, Adelia. How do you feel about the week?
I think I have just so many thoughts. Well, I was one of those people who didn't go for the main conference and only went for side events.
That's most people. You're not crazy.
Yeah. I think we were talking about it, right, at the other time, where initially, like, I thought working in crypto and Web3 means like getting to be a recluse. But the more you are in this space, the more you realize that actually you have to connect as much as possible, because everyone is usually working remotely. Like every time everyone gathers to meet for a conference, then we all go all out and socialize. I think it was really great, right, to meet some people for the first time. Like, so I met Blake in person for the first time at Token in Singapore. So I thought it was like amazing. It was really nice to meet everyone. And I think you just have more valuable conversations, right, when you are like not just trying to go and network, but maybe like conference related trauma, like trying to cut lines at Marquee, like trying to get last minute entry into certain like hot events. Like I think those are like the moments that you really bond with groups of people. So I thought it was really cool, right? Like I think basically everyone was at Token. Was super busy. As a Singaporean native, that's also when our tiny Singapore, right, becomes super crowded. It's really nice, right? I'm really happy to also hear about everyone who is perhaps coming to Singapore for the first time or the first few times, really enjoying the city, the country, and it makes me very happy. Most importantly, it's so great to jam with all these, face and finally like meet them in person, right? Not just seeing them through a screen.
It's funny that you mentioned Marquee, because what is the hype about it, first of all? And second of all, is it true that Verachain had like the hottest event of the conference and like they packed Marquee? It's like the biggest party ever that this place has seen.
I think the Singapore clubbing lore goes like this, right? For many years, we didn't have too many clubs. We had some. The most famous one, like even like let's say in my parents' time, was called Zouk. Suddenly, Marquee came up quite a few years ago, and then it had like a Ferris wheel in the club. It had a slide. So I think it's really good. As someone who has also been living in London, right? So I don't really think London has clubs like this as well. So it becomes like something really unique. And then it became like super hyped and became like, the go-to place to throw a party. Because I have moved out of Singapore since I became age appropriate for clubbing. It was actually my first time this during Token, also going to Marquee, and I was like, wow, like I don't really see any place like it. But I don't know, like how does Marquee compare, right, to the New York, the Soul clubs?
I have some thoughts, because Marquee is it is a pretty iconic club. Like Singapore is one of the many outposts. I think, I'll be honest, it was a pretty fun experience. I was on that Ferris wheel. Let me see. I'm trying to find a photo of it here. Here you go. I was on the Ferris wheel and I was up there for like, it was pretty
How
fun
big
just
is
for
the
like,
club? Oh my God. This is
it's
like a
pretty
whole
large.
room.
Oh, it's gigantic. Let me see if I think I have a photo in here. Hold on. 2 seconds. Oh yeah,
How
here we
many
go.
people
Yeah,
does it fit in? I
it's quite
wonder.
large. It's one of those, but that's from the other side. Like the Ferris wheel is behind. But anyways, cool club is what it is. But like, yeah. So it's the TLDR is like I agree. Like too many side events. I mean, I think that's most people. Honestly, most people don't go to the main conference. So I feel like the alpha is always the side events. The issue is there's 700 of them. So then it's like everyone's competing for bodies. There's no way, and that was a big conversation a lot of people had. I think, which was, why don't we have, whether it's on chain or off chain, like why don't we have a way to verify who is RSVPing to events and actually showing up, right? Like, shouldn't there be a tokenized loyalty program of some sort, or maybe it's not even tokenized, but literally just any way to verify that Blake has signed up for 700 side events? Maybe he shouldn't do that because then event organizers have no way to verify.
I think it was Nick from Story who tweeted that the pain was real.
Yeah. The good thing is, I will say, we did talk to one team. We talked to a team that some people may or may not know. I won't name drop right now because I don't know if they want to be talking about this, but some teams are thinking about this, and they are thinking about how you deal with IRL events. And that's all I'll say. If you catch the hint, maybe, and if not, that's okay too, because it will be public soon. And then on the marquee thing, yeah, Bear Chain did their event the first night. We love Bear Chain. I think that team's awesome. The events system was a mess because, as far as I know, I think Marquee was booked out the whole week. So it was like Bear Chain did the first night. I don't even remember who did the second night, but like a friend of a friend was one of the organizers, and he was giving me all the alpha on the organization. So I guess Bear Chain didn't quite do. They just didn't like hire professional event organizers. It was absolute chaos. Second night was Dylan Francis, which is when I went. Great night. Third night, I think was Magic Eden, or another one. Or it was like Steve Aoki actually was third night, and then fourth night was Magic Eden. So it was literally 4 nights back to back of marquee, and I think everyone was kind of just like, there were so many side events that literally every single venue I think was booked out like the entire week. And by the way, we haven't even talked about Breakpoint, but I'll let you kind of guide it and take us there. But it was chaos. Let's just put it that way. Yeah.
Did you guys see a certain project spending $500,000 on token?
I was just about to ask if you can guess how much they spent without but I see that you saw that tweet also. Did you, Blake, see that tweet?
Wait, which one? Which event spent how much?
Well, guess. I mean, now you know. Guess. Well, you've been on Token, right? So, certain project spent 457K on token activations that include, events, parties, whatever, like ads. Can you guess, like, your top 3 guesses? Who could have it been?
Wait, was this Gaia?
No.
No, it was a different one. Because I have some.
Two tries.
Okay, I actually genuinely missed that. I didn't see this tweet. Wasn't Gaia? Barachain? No.
I think they spent more.
Wormhole? I don't
No.
know.
Let's just say that I saw the tweet, but I didn't see that.
Share the tweet. No, I need to see this now.
Saw the post about it, but I did not see them. But when I was like perusing the side events list and signing up more events than I should have, I did not see this project's presence.
Hint, it's related to dots.
Wait, but I literally didn't see them at all during the whole week. Are you serious?
Exactly. So it's 200K for sponsorship, 100K for booth, 7K for airport billboard, and you guys didn't even see it. 25 for demand generation campaign, whatever that is. 20K for travel, 10K for merch, and 5K for photo, video ops.
Oh my god! Wait,
insane.
I did see this tweet because Nick tagged Myosin in it, and I'm actually talking to. Okay, I didn't even. I'll be honest, I didn't actually look at it. I assumed this was an old tweet. I assumed this was like because they can't. This is from Token.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? How is that even possible? That's insane.
You didn't see any airport billboard.
I didn't. I literally saw no polka dot presence, and trust me, I was all over Singapore that whole week, so I don't even know.
I've seen
Yeah.
I saw people tweeting about, like, I think there were Solana ads on like Korea
Yeah.
Blockchain Week or something in the airport that I've seen.
Yeah.
When I got to the airport in Singapore, I saw a lot of Wormhole ads,
Mm-hmm.
but Wormhole's doing great stuff, so good for them. But like Polkadot, I'm like, why? Well, I'm just confused because they came out with their marketing budget. What was that, like a month ago, and someone leaked it? And you would think that they
Yeah.
finally learned their lesson.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they were just already too locked in. I don't know. Maybe that's the only rational answer that I can think of.
I think they're just too used to having money.
Guys, Polkadot, if you're watching this, give us a call.
Yeah.
Give us a call and we'll give you a proposal.
Yes. And we do it a lot more formally than this. That's crazy. Oh, and the DAO
I
community
think
voted on that. That's crazy.
exactly. The DAO voted on it. So they kind of gave them the permission to spend the money, right? But at the same time, what is a demand generation campaign that's 25? Also, that's just like, I mean, I don't know.
I'm confused. We're all so
I kind of
confused.
feel like it has to be part of the event spend campaign. Something.
All that being said, though, I will say, one of the events, I think on Thursday, is at the Art Science Museum. Diplo was playing, and it was insane because I think everyone was trying to go to this party. They had about 2,000 registered and like 3,000 on the wait list, and it was a madhouse. And the issue is the Art Science Museum. It's like this beautiful floral, looking museum in the prime part of Singapore near MBS, Marina Bay Sands, which is where the main event is, the casino, whatever. It is not a good place to throw a party because the entire, it's a circular building, and the entire middle 80%, this is the diameter or the circumference, the middle 80%, I guess, area. Sorry, I'm like throwing out it's been a long time since geometry, but basically the middle 80% of the building is like this weird courtyard. So you can only really walk around in like a circle, and it just was a mess. And through some folks, I know for a fact that I believe Gaia spent like $400,000 on Diplo alone. So I'm just putting it out there, putting that in perspective.
So Polkadot did well.
Maybe Polkadot didn't do so badly. I don't know. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking about. I'm like,
but people remember the Diplo party, though. That's the difference.
And how bad it was. Yeah. I'm just saying. Even my.
But do you remember who sponsored it?
That's true. I do remember Gaia sponsored it. But I guess they say all press is good press. I don't know.
But also, like, I've seen many tweets and actually tweeted about it myself, but they're spending so much money on these events, and a lot of people don't even know what events they're going to, like who sponsored them, who organized them. They don't care. They just come to hang with their online friends offline, and that's it. So the ROI of this is like debatable, but at the same time, I think that I'm just like hurt because everyone is also always asking, what's the ROI of community? How do you calculate that? Well, yeah, what's the ROI of spending 400K on Diplo?
Well, and I think that's the other frustration. And I mean, it's a very fair commentary, I think, on the state of our industry, right? Is so many legitimate builders and so many legitimate projects are trying to raise not a selfish amount of money, right? They're trying to raise maybe a couple $100,000, $1 million. That $400,000 that was spent by a VC or investors on Gaia or whoever else could have been maybe more effectively spent on funding a company that could have made a real difference. But it's kind of like this weird vanity project or this competition, I guess, that why are we doing this? There are already so many. Like, it's just a big, part of my French, it's like a big dick swinging competition. Right?
Yeah.
Like, who could just like spend more money and show off and do the bigger for what? But
the reality of things is it's these things that people talk about, and these things that
I don't know. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that when people, even like Web2 people, they found out that this project that they hired Diplo, that they threw this massive party in Singapore, they can talk about it, and that's how people are vague. They just these are the kind of things that went viral. I don't know how many impressions did that Polkadot thing bring to LinkedIn, but I'm pretty sure a lot. It seems like all the attention they're getting so far is
Web2 people on LinkedIn don't know about Polkadot. I think the issue is I was at the conference all week. I did not hear the word or even think about Polkadot the entire time. I don't know.
Well,
yeah. I didn't realize they were there, but it does make a lot of sense that they were there.
Nobody even realized. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Did you hear
Not much. I don't
Not
think so.
much.
Maybe it's just
Didn't
actually
they
no.
have this?
I will say Near had like a rooftop pool thing. That was a couple
Mm-hmm.
days.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I saw that. I saw that Luma event as well.
I registered. I unfortunately did not have the chance to attend. I'm sure they did something, but I am in a lot of group chats, and one of the ones I was in, there were people who did go, and they were like, "What is this?" Because they're like, it's supposed to be a 3 day kind of like open pool thing, and there was like when we tried to actually jump in the pool, apparently the pool staff wasn't even the staff didn't even let them. So
It was just for
again,
the
I
show.
think there's just a lot of questionable events, I guess, and it's hard because I get it. Like some of it is kind of like from the. I mean, we should talk to the PR team at some, our PR folks at some point, because there is this kind of this weird PR thing of like, even if people don't show up to your events, you can like capture the video footage and like, like put it out on as content to be like, wow, look at our founders. They were on stage and they talked. You don't actually have to turn the camera around and show there's like one person in the audience. Right? That's the only justification I can think for those things. It's so hard. There's just so many people, so many projects, and such limited bandwidth. Yeah, I don't know. That's my take.
But one of the things that I also saw, and I'm not sure if and tell me if it's true, somebody tweeted that Singapore and Token were very noisy and a lot of unnecessary side events, whereas in Korea it was more local and there were more high quality side events, but less of them. Is that something that you guys think as well?
I would generally agree with that. Yeah.
I just wonder like what makes a side event quality and what makes it less quality.
I guess less flops.
Yeah. I think my hot take is this is like, I think, and there are pros and cons because, by the way, it is a tricky thing. Like, I'm certainly biased. I am Korean American, so I'm certainly going to always root for the home team. However, I recognize Korea's not perfect. So I think if you have to compare Korea Blockchain Week and Token, Korea Blockchain Week had less events, and I obviously have a bias because I like went to certain type of events. I didn't go to every single one, so I can't speak for all events. What I liked about Korea was the events I went to generally there were a lot more. What I found was like Story House, Liquidity Summit, Ripple had a hackathon that was really well attended actually. There were people building on XRPL. There was Kaya, which is one of the blockchains from Line and Kakao. They had a whole thing, right? So there are a lot more like kind of mini summits, and they were all kind of in the same area, and I felt like I could bop around. Yeah, Aptos even I didn't go, but I heard it was really nice. I went to a Solana one that was quite nice, and then at night there were a lot of fun night things. With Token, the challenge I think was even when I tried to find like productive side events, because there were 700 and they were all over the place, I literally couldn't even figure out. I was overwhelmed, and I was like, I didn't even know where to go. And then I went to like a FarCon event, and it was just kind of weird and empty, and it was and that was kind of the story for a bunch of events I went to. Was I think because it's so fragmented and all over the place, the attendance was generally very low. And then most of the events I ended up going to were mostly like party situations. Because by the way, it's also F1 that week, so there's a lot of like F1 parties.
Yeah.
And that's great. But I'll be honest, like it's good for networking, but I did want to learn about a lot of things. And I feel like, frankly, I didn't have as much chance to, just because there's so much. Yeah.
What is the, during Token and Korea Blockchain Week, is there like in Luma a discovery sort of algorithm that helps you target specific location and filter out all of these events? I don't think so.
Luma,
Is there?
you can categorize your event under Token2049 Singapore. So you can just click that and see all the events that's been tagged under this. So I think in that sense, and you can see on the day-by-day view, right, which I think was helpful for me. If let's say, I think on Friday it was a bit empty for me, so I started looking at events on Friday specifically. So I think that was quite helpful. But yeah, like I think it's really, really difficult. Like, I wish there was an algorithm actually that maybe could, create some personalized suggestions.
A map also?
I mean, Singapore, to be honest, is really small, right? Like, Singapore is a lot smaller than Seoul, I think.
Seoul,
definitely Korea, but definitely smaller than Seoul as well. So most places within central Singapore, like I don't think it should take you more than 15 to 20 minutes to walk, to be honest. I think the challenge was also that there were a lot of road closures because of the F1, which made like traffic
Mm.
was. But actually, it's so small that I don't really think you need too much like sophisticated like planning, to be honest. Yeah.
For 700 events?
Yeah, but it's all around the same place.
It's good. Wait, I just want to make sure. I'm looking at the live stream. I'm not sure if Adelia is coming through. Hold on, let me just make sure. Oh, we're good. We're good. Never mind. I'm
Okay.
crazy. You're good. I think it was initial issues.
That would have been something.
I know, we're good. No, I mean, sorry. Wait, bring it back. What was the last question? Sorry.
We were talking about the algorithm for discovery of events.
So someone actually built that. Someone built a map. I think it was in Javelin, which Paulina, you're in, and Adelia, we got to get you in. Shout out to the Francis Barton Labs collab partners on this Javelin community that we've been building. But yeah, someone built that, and I think they shared it out in the Javelin chat where they just took all the events, mapped them. But here's the thing: I looked at that map, and I'm like, this is just a bunch of red dots on a map. So even though you put it on a map, it's like a UX UI issue. It doesn't necessarily solve the thing I'm looking for. Because whether it's a spreadsheet, whether it's a map, what it really should be is like some kind of chatbot where you can tell the chatbot, hey, here are the things I'm looking for. Here's what I care about. Please assemble like a custom itinerary for me. And that would be something very valuable, and I'm sure people would pay for that. And now it's pretty easy, but yeah.
I think also just, even if it's a map, I want to see where my friends are going, like where are the people that I follow maybe going, because then you can see. The problem is, again, that people RSVP to a lot of things and then don't actually go. But at least, when they RSVP, that's something they're interested in, so there's a higher chance of them being there. At the same time, you can, get like how a project can promote itself, like with this algorithm, is like pay a bunch of influencers to RSVP to their event to rank higher so that people would show up thinking they would catch them or something. Like, I don't know, Zenica or someone who, everyone knows, and game the algorithm. But at the same time,
what if I
some
told
people
you
would
someone
use
was
it.
building that? Just saying. Yeah. Somebody we're chatting with. Yeah.
So that's part of that same, we're coming
Something
back to that
IRL
same product.
coming soon. Yeah. I'll just keep saying IRL enough and, look around the internet. Maybe you'll find something. Yeah. It's cooking. Things are cooking. Yeah. We need better experiences for that. So hopefully that'll come through in the coming months. Conferences are a mess. I do want to talk very quickly about Breakpoint, though, because I think that was a really interesting contrast, because I went to Token main event last year and all the side events. Had a pretty decent time. This year I was just like, I'm not even going to bother. But we stayed, my co-founder Simon and I stayed with the Solana monkeys, so Monkey DAO. And really, I would say they're one of the top, DAOs in all of Web3. Love that community, really quality team and community, and a lot of serious builders. I'd put them and Pudgies, right next to each other. Although Monkey is better organized as actual DAO. Breakpoint was like night and day. Because even though I didn't go to Token this year, I can tell you, like, based on my experience last year, what I've heard, Breakpoint was incredible, by the way. Little Breakpoint, black on black hat.
I spotted the
merch.
cap.
Of course, had to put it on, and a little shill, a little mice and Bali merch, so we're doing both. But no, the Breakpoint was incredible. I think, this is something I've talked quite a bit about, which is I think what Solana Foundation does really well, or what Solana does really well, is number one, they have a foundation that, yes, you could say it's more centralized, but by the very nature of it, they're able to push forward a narrative. They're able to put together a cohesive event. During Solana Breakpoint, which is 2 days, nobody is putting on side events during Solana Breakpoint. And the ones who are, I don't know who went to those, because everyone I know who is Solana affiliated was either at that event or, maybe they went to one or two other things, right? Very few other side events during Breakpoint itself. And then all the side events were kind of like after, because everyone's just kind of coming there, everyone's performing and showing up. It was not as chaotic, I guess, which obviously is different because it's one blockchain versus every blockchain and every crypto person ever. But the level of curation and the cohesive narrative and all the, the announcements is just like, it just was so nice. I don't know. It was a good way to end the week, is all I would say.
Yeah.
Do you think it was do you think it was intentional for them to block off those few days for the conference, or do you think it was just like a cheeky coincidence that they decided to compete with Token2049 instead of the Breakpoint conference?
I'm of the opinion it was 100% on purpose, because, I mean, I don't know the whole history of Token, but I know I was there last year, and I know that I feel like every year they put it on in Singapore, right? Like, that's the historical. So it's not rocket science to be like, I don't think it was an accident. You'd have to be pretty bad at running events to be like, we happen to be booking Breakpoint during, like, and I think it was actually very clever because there was a lot of people.
Everyone's there.
And friends. Yeah, everyone's there. So you just kind of, they didn't announce Breakpoint's going to be in December in Abu Dhabi next year.
Yeah.
Which, I guess I'm going to Abu Dhabi next year, but I have no other reason to go. So let's go. Yeah.
Well, Token is in Dubai in April, right? So
yeah.
They chose Abu Dhabi. But I think, I mean, it's definitely more organized just by the nature of it being like smaller as one blockchain, like pushing its own like agenda rather than everyone else competing for attention. So Token is like a Wild West sort of environment where everyone is trying to get the mindshare and get people to come to their events. Whereas in Breakpoint, I mean, it's a lot of pressure on the team to organize everything to do it right, because if the team is not right, then the whole event goes to shambles.
Yeah.
So they pulled it off, You gave it to some dots team, you don't know what would happen.
Thank God it wasn't like Polka.com attendee list of 3. Yeah. Sorry.
No, but I also saw a tweet that, somebody tweeted that Ethereum is failing as a community because Solana like came in so like together, one chain, one community, one event. There's a common, like there's one narrative and everyone is super supportive and building together, whereas on Ethereum everyone is like fighting. And there's truth to that, but also people are saying like this is a difference between centralized and decentralized kind of thing.
I have some hot takes, but I don't want to talk too much. Yeah, Adelia, hit me. Hit
no,
us. Yeah.
Like today I was just thinking about it for some other work that I was doing, and I feel like you can really see which chains are cultists and which chains are like not cultists, right? Like more like a neutral blank canvas for you to build on. And I think actually Ethereum, I feel like it's less hype than cultist approach. Actually gives people a lot more freedom, right, to build on it without feeling pressured to act or behave a certain way. And I do think there's beauty in that, right? Even as a marketer, like it's just a blank canvas. Whereas if you go on some other chains, there's like a more specific like color scheme or mascot or playbook that you kind of have to utilize, right, to effectively like build your brand and your presence. But I just think like Ethereum is just like a blank canvas, right? It's so neutral, right? Anyone can build on it, and I think like that's also great. So yeah, like even as a marketer, it might be less hyped or like exciting, or you get less support. But I think it's a lot more free, right? In that sense, yeah.
What would we call a cultist chain? Vera chain, Monad, Solana.
Those are
what else?
Ones on my minds, to be honest.
I think those are the.
What about Wormhole?
Sui is starting to pick up, but I don't think not Wormhole. Wormhole is very
Flow.
slow line, Flow. Yeah. I mean, no comment.
I think those are the main ones. I mean, I don't mean cultists in a necessarily negative way, right? But like they have the whole tribe basically. Yeah. It's like a clear direction, and if you want
Camp's done a quite good job. Yeah, I like Camp. I really like Camp in the team. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess they have some.
Yeah.
No, I tweeted yesterday.
Oh, sorry.
Chain is very. But I just tweeted about Camp yesterday, and what I liked is I think either a bunch of the team members or the community members, they kind of have a set of memes, which is a meme and it says Camp mentioned, and what they did is they just dropped that meme in, right? Just to like kind of boost it in the algorithm, I guess. It doesn't have any sort of branding, like association, except for the name Camp, like in Camp mentioned. No tents or anything like that, but I liked it. It's like,
that reminds me, I need to be gambling with my nuts on Camp. I forgot. I'm gonna do that later. That's the
your
thing.
attention is too fractionalized.
Yeah, my attention
you forgot your nuts.
It's too decentralized. I can't keep it in one place, right? I mean, just my take on it is I think that there's a lot of maximalism, right? Mm-hmm. But I really view, I think I've said this on a previous, live stream before somewhere, but it's like, hey, it's a very small space right now and we can all win together. And I think Solana is really good at certain things. And I really do believe the future of finance will be there because, even at Breakpoint, Visa, PayPal, Citibank, Franklin Templeton, all these big financial institutions literally said themselves, they're like, we could not do this on Ethereum. It's not fast enough. It's not cheap enough. Now, does that mean Ethereum can't survive and it can't win and it can't also? No, but it's kind of like there are these two kind of like worlds, right? But in the same way that iOS and Android exist, that's kind of my general thesis is like EVM chains will continue to basically be the Android of the world, and I think Solana is almost like the iOS, right? Like it's clean, it's sleek, it's a monolithic kind of like structure, and in certain markets it's going to dominate. But let's be clear, on the whole, because of the nature of Android, because of its open source nature, not saying Solana isn't open source, but more decentralized, I guess, like Android thrives. And on the global scale, Android is the winner. But in certain markets, Solana completely dominates, and there's no question. So I think that's where it's all headed, is like the L2s can fight each other, but, it's something we're seeing with, Camp, Base. I don't remember the others, honestly, like CELO. All the ones building on OP Superchain, for example, right? They're all intercompatible, right? Like, so it's not a winner takes all market, basically. Like, and so when people are always, we all see it on our Twitter feeds. It's so exhausting, this whole like ETH sucks or Solana is a scam, and we're like, guys, like we can do both. I love Solana, but I have also hold a way too much ETH. I actually might sell some, but like I still hold enough. I'm happy with it. So we can do both. Is my thing. Yeah.
I was thinking, who did we forget? Which chains? And I realized that I saw some memes about like Cardano or something. Was there?
No.
Like it's just no comment.
No comment. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything, right? So. Yeah.
But one thing I give it to them though, like everyone still remembers them and they're still front of mind for an example of a meme. If Cardano's always the one people roast, right? And they'll always manage to stay like the number one choice for roasting.
Yeah. Wait, well, Polkadot is now competing for attention, I think. Just when it's budgeting talk.
For different reasons, right? Because Polkadot has supposedly so much money, it's becoming ironic. I'm starting to wonder, right, that this is bad. Like, if it wasn't for the DAO, I totally question if this budget is even real, right? Or it's just been something that they keep talking about. Because no one has seen evidence of like it working.
That's true.
Where are they putting these ads? Where is it? I don't know. I'm so confused. I didn't hear a single person during the entire week be like, "Hey, I'm going to this Polkadot thing. Do you want to?" Like I don't get it. I'm so confused.
Well, we're kind of nearing the end, so I wanted to play a quick game that I thought of on the fly. It's a conference bingo. We need like an animation.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a thing, and you'll have to be honest and tell me if that's something that happened to you or not. Are you ready? Okay. First one is, you heard a phrase Ethereum killer. Yes or no?
I think I actually did this week. It's kind of surprising. You would think the answer is yes, but I don't think anyone. Maybe that says something. I don't know. Yeah.
Solana killer.
Not this time. Maybe last year or 2 years ago, yes, but not this time for me.
I don't think anyone's dumb enough to say that. I do feel like post-conference, there's a lot of like sweet chatter, but I've also seen both sides where people are like, it's a scam, the VCs are trying to dump their bags. I don't know, so separate thing. Anyways, please.
Yeah. Okay. Second one, a moderator for a panel clearly didn't know who the speakers were or read their bios.
Yes. Yeah. I won't name names, but that definitely happened.
Yeah, for me, I went to a pretty poorly organized panel, but not necessarily at the point where they forgot names or the bio, but it was no one was paying attention, so that's kind of sad.
To me, that's just so, like, this is basics. Yeah. Basics. Why do you even invite people then if you don't, spend 5 minutes to just learn what they do? It's like, how are you planning to moderate? This is like the baseline of your job here. Anyway, anyone saw Vitalik or thought you saw him during Token?
Vitalik was bopping around.
You did? Okay, yeah. Nice. If you heard anyone...
Wait, here's a comment. If you had the chance to go talk to Vitalik right now, would you guys go hang out with him? Would you go talk to him? Because this is a conversation I've actually had over the past week. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts.
I don't think I would.
I probably would. Because I don't have much expectations of people, so they can't be disappointed.
Very fair.
Right?
You're like, I
You
don't
will
know.
only be disappointed if you build some sort of like idealistic image of someone and you put them on a pedestal. But I don't have expectations of people. So.
I think that's a very healthy and proper way to properly manage this. I think Paulina and I
Yeah.
are more on the other side of the world.
No, I'm very introverted in that sense. Like, even if it wasn't Vitalik, like for me to come up and talk to someone I don't know, it takes like a lot. I don't have a problem with like jumping on calls with people and meeting them like this, but when I have to walk up to someone,
Yeah.
that's a challenge.
That's my Achilles heel as well.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been my New Year resolution for the last 2 years to be better at conferences and
Let's go.
IRL events, but you know, it's a very much a work in progress.
No, I think
Same.
you're doing a good job.
No,
My
and the
thing
worst
is,
part is that I don't drink
I-
also, so I can't have that liquid courage to inhibit my
Exactly.
that makes it all
Same.
more impressive. Yeah. For me, it's just like with Vitalik, I think because he's got this like, yeah, I'm like dumb. I'm just like, I just want to like leave him as like an idol on my shelf. And I feel like if I ever talk to him, I would just be like, everyone I've talked to who's ever interacted is like, what do I even talk to him about? I'm like, hi, I like Ethereum. Like, what do you fucking say, right?
What's
And
next?
then be like, what do you
Exactly.
think is next? Do you like Solana? Like, what? I have nothing to talk to him about. So it would just be kind of awkward and weird in my opinion. And I'm a very extroverted person, but I just don't know what I'd say. So I think I'm just like, leave the man alone. I'm just going to view him as like, you know, a mythical figure, a unicorn to just trot around the world and, you know.
I mean, you've
I'm happy
already
that
seen
way.
him sing, right? So fantasy image of him should have been shattered by now.
Trust me. Yeah, I've seen things.
I
Yeah.
think if I worked for a brand or something, I would create some merch with like cats and stuff and incorporate my logo into it and give like find him and give it to him so he wears it because he has a sweet spot for like soft spot for cats and memes. So I would do that as like a guerrilla marketing sort of campaign because actually people do that like in Web2 with influencers where they come to meet and greet and they give them some sort of like memorable thing that's associated to the brand, snap a photo with it and things like that and use it in marketing later on. So I would do that. I don't have problem with doing that, but just walking up to him and saying, hi, my name is Paulina. Like, I like Ethereum.
You're such a fucking relentless shiller. I love it.
I mean, it's
You're
kind
my
of
third
my job.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay, moving on to the next one. So, have you heard non-financial advice, but, and then somebody proceeded with financial advice?
That's a good one. I don't think so, actually. There was a lot of just like, I think I said that.
They just go with advices.
I think I said that every now and then. Just in case. You know what it is? You only really say that if the person's not crypto native, I think. And because everyone's so native, you're like, you know, it's implied. It's implied. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Met someone who is clearly there just for free stuff, like free merch.
Oh, yeah. The merch hoes. They deep. They're all
merch hoes.
Yeah. I have some friends who do that, actually. Yeah.
Adelia's like, am I one of these people sometimes?
Are you one of those?
Crazy.
No.
I've happened to acquire a few new t-shirts last week.
Let's go.
I mean, everyone loves free merch, so no shame.
I do wonder real quick if the hotel, because both Simon and I, we had a lot of extra merch and we couldn't carry it all. So I am curious, like, there's this whole like crypto merch racket that must be happening in Singapore right now where like maids, I'm sure, like just be like, free nice sweatshirt. There's some high quality stuff and we're just like, we don't carry it. So anyways, sorry, side rant.
Okay. Have you been on an event where the panelists, so the speaker, they came and they were clearly not prepared for the conversation?
I don't know if they were not prepared, but I don't think they were very good speakers. Let's just you know, like they speak to themselves.
Do you want to tell us more? You can just like not mention the project, but you could give us general details.
I mean, like they were so forgettable. I didn't really remember who they were, but
yeah, like, they were so bad. I literally don't even know who they were.
I'm pretty savage sometimes. So I went to this. I can't really say what panel.
You
but
can anonymize things. You can be like, you went to a thing.
I went to a
you
thing.
You can say it was a DeFi thing.
At this time, this date.
Yeah, on the first day, right? So there were quite a few like people sharing about like their product and you know their go-to market. and like no one was listening, and they never like tried to engage. It's almost like they were just following a script, and that if people were not listening, they just kept going on, and there were like very little attempts to react right according to the audience. And I just think that you have to send someone a bit more charismatic and not just like as if like they're reading from a screen, right? Because although they didn't have a screen, but that's what it sounded like. And whoever you send, and I'm pretty sure you pay like a decent amount of money to be up there, right? So you should really, I think, media train the person effectively. If not, it's kind of backfires in my opinion. And yeah, and you become like, you either waste the money or you become known as like someone with a not very charismatic founder or CTO. So I really think that I don't know about you guys, because even like live streams or Twitter Spaces, I always make sure the person I send can talk. It was like a basic thing, right?
Yeah.
But some people like don't really care about that part. Like I think the ability to sell and present themselves well in these events or speaking opportunities like matters more than how much knowledge they actually know of the product. So yeah, like I just went to some pretty unengaging like panels, which I do feel pretty bad for them, but at the same time, they were not really trying as well. Yeah.
I think a founder who can speak and like has this charisma is just jackpot, like in Web3, because a lot of founders are just developers who don't know how to do that. When like usually those who have raised from VCs actually have that charisma, because you need some of that to actually and be a good communicator to raise money on the first place. So there's that. But yeah, moving on. Have you met like some maxi on a party or an event that was trying to convince someone like in his maxi beliefs?
I think the comedy show that we went to, Blake, it was as Solana maxi as it got.
Yeah, pretty much.
They
Deep
make
on
it out of
soul.
other chains.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, I think the only maxis that are out there are basically Ether Soul maxis. I don't think anyone's like only.
Oh, they're
Bear
Bitcoin
chain.
maxes.
Yeah. I think it's also the nature of like my conference strategy at this point has been pretty. It's gotten to the point where my strategy is, instead of doing the whole like you go to events and you like shake everyone's hands, I just kind of hang out with the people I know and then let the people like, if you're in a public area, then inevitably you'll see other people and then those people bring other people. So it's more like a compounding effect and so it's kind of like it's almost like a word of mouth referral, right? Because you'll be at an event. I'm hanging out with Paulina. We're having drinks, just catching up. And then someone will see Paulina. Hey, Paulina! Be like, have you met Blake? And then that's how it's a really good way. And thankfully, none of my friends are maxis. So I think that's why that's not happening.
That's a good strategy to protect yourself from like awkward small talks and like...
Yeah. Because it's just such a crapshoot, right? Like, and honestly, I should be better. Because I will say, at one of the events, obviously, you guys know Justin from Safari, and like we were hanging out so much during the week that by the end of it, at one of the last events we were hanging out, he's like, "I love you guys, but I need to go talk to like new people." So
I need to do BD.
He's like, I need a BD, and like me and like some friends are just hanging out here, and then he just kept getting sucked back into our circle because then like. Me and my other friend, we'd be hanging out, and then someone meet, and then that person like Justin, and then they bring Justin kept like finding his way back to our group, and be like, okay, you guys are great, but I'm gonna go talk to other people. Like, but it works for us because then all it takes is a couple good quality folks, and the ROI on BDing is there. Yeah.
Well, so the more you go to conferences, because sort of the more people the circle starts forming around you either way.
It's such a small world.
Of people who are aligned. Yeah. So and then it kind of transcends to Twitter, and then you see the same people talking on Twitter all the time and supporting each other.
I wanted to share something pretty whack that happened to me, or rather pre-happened to me. So I actually signed up for this event, and someone sent an email. One of the organizers sent an email accusing the other one of basically rugging them and going MIA. That's why the event was cancelled, and it was super passive aggressive. It's like, oh, I can only hope that like the next event I organize, I find a more reliable and co-organizer with more integrity or something like that. It was wild. Like, it was the wildest email that I read. Yeah, so they sent one of the co-organizers sent a cancellation email to everyone. And it's basically accusing the other guy of just MIing, rugging.
Holy
she's
shit.
and it's like, oh, by the way, by signing up to this event, you're also signing up to this newsletter, so feel free to unsubscribe. Here's,
What?
Yo,
you know,
that's
if
some
any one
tea.
of you paid, please look for him. And she was like, you know, going all in. And I was
That's
like,
petty,
man,
bro.
like this is some drama right there, and I can't believe that no one talked about it. Like,
Me too. This is
this
so
email
fun.
that I saw.
Drama.
That's
So
really petty.
I guess it's like put a finger down if you sign up to an event that got cancelled because one of the co-organizers rugged the other.
But it's also like kind of try to keep your face on, like when you're talking to people who were looking forward to coming to your event. Even if you got like rugged by the co-organizer, you can play it nicely. Whereas this one was kind of like, I'm so pissed, let everyone else be pissed
Yeah,
at you as
this is
well.
airing out
It's
your
like,
dirty laundry.
what
If
is
you
this,
like that.
kindergarten?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you don't know what happened, right? It could be that they fronted everything, so that's why they were super angry. I don't know.
No,
Maybe
but
they like
it's
gave
kind
this
of
guy
like,
money and then he just ran with it, which would be such a
yeah,
stupid thing to like, you know. But you never know.
but also this like sort of events are an opportunity to bring people together or get them talking about you like in a good way. Because right now you're speaking of it not in a very good way. Like I don't think that you would want to mention who the person is or what the event was about, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if he turned it around sort of to bring the community together and be like, okay, because this happened, we're organized, like we're gonna do a much better thing, or like online, we're gonna do it, you know, and still bring people together because people have compassion. And like when something like this happens and, you know, someone got in trouble because of other person not being, you know, trustworthy or rugging, they would show up like because they care. I mean, some people care. So I don't know, missed opportunity.
I just thought it was a bit wild, and I wanted to tell you guys about
Crazy.
this.
That's crazy.
Definitely. The last one of the bingo, and I think that
Mhm.
I know the answer already, but did you get overwhelmed?
Yeah.
I think by like the fourth, fifth day, I was just like, I can't. And that's also why you need to adopt that strategy. Because if you're, it's literally impossible to go and BD and like shake everyone's hand. Like, I'm very extroverted. Even for me, it's hard. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a
I
marathon.
think Adelia sent me a message. She's just like, I'm drained. I'm out.
So bad at this. Like, I wasn't even that intense. I was probably doing like maybe 1/3 of what Blake was doing, or like 1/4. But I was like, no, I really can't. For me, like, I already am someone who chose events based on like pure interest, not really like because of professional networking reasons or strategic reasons. I just was whatever sounded fun and whatever my friends were doing, but I really wanted to say peace out. Yeah, I'm trying to get better, right? It's a process. It's a process.
But you know, like that's how networks form, right? Like
Yeah.
what I always say, like I think people, it is important to be intentional and deliberate, but you know, I think there's a balance. Like vibes really do matter. You know, it's such a relationship based industry because it is so intimate. So it's just like I hate to say it is a little bit about who you know or who do you know who knows and what is your reputation and are you doing good things and are you building cool shit and are you providing value to others, and you don't need to always go to every single event, right? So just being deliberate. Yeah.
It just reminded me of last week. I was talking to a friend who's not crypto related, and then she was saying about how she's like in marketing, how she's trying to hype up the team and like keep the vibes high. And I said like, oh, you're like a chief vibe officer, you know, at the company. She's like, what? That's a real thing. And I'm like, in crypto, it is. There are some job positions going around that you could be pretty good for.
Man, I need that job.
You'd be perfect, I must say. You are already the chief vibes officer at Marson.
We're doing
That's
what we can,
true.
you know. Keep the vibes up. There'll be more. There'll be more. It'll be fun. We're doing out here in Bali. Wish you guys are here. It's nice. We'll do a little recap thread later and come to the next one. We're gonna be sneak peek for everyone, for you guys and for the world. I think I've already said this on community calls, but ECC historically, I mean, I think we're okay to say this out loud. I mean, well, I won't give away our whole event agenda for next year, but what I can say is we definitely want to do a Myosin house before ECC, which will be in Cannes in the south of France. And so the goal will be to book a house for a whole week before. somewhere in the south of France. Not in
You
Canada.
should book
I don't
early.
like
It's gonna
Canada
get
much.
very expensive, by the way.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a
Dow
planner,
budget.
so yeah, we'll book it soon. Don't worry. Yeah, that's why we all gotta work our asses off, and it'll be
Yeah.
fun. It'll be worth it.
It'll be
Yeah.
amazing.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
That's why I think everyone's DMs after Token and like Breakpoint and everything is full of BD work.
I saw a really good tweet about that. It was Graham from I forget where, but his whole thing was like, "Hey guys, maybe you don't have to send all your follow-up messages on Monday. How about you let people like fucking like settle in,
Leave.
yeah, like relax." So I'm actually holding off on all my messages till next week. So it's like give it like 2 weeks. And then I think once people are settled in, then you're going to cut through the noise, right? Because if everyone's sending it right when they get back, you're overwhelmed with messages. So like then you can become one of the few that like, gave the people some space. Pro tip. Anyways, that's all.
Are you still taking like, how do you know who you have to send a message to? Is the people who you took selfies with and then send them the selfies?
I do. I was very like
Selective.
I used to be a lot more like selective with the selfies, but honestly what I found is like I just take selfies with everyone. It's just so much easier because otherwise after the conferences you're scrolling through your one-on-one conversations and you're like, even when you think you're going to remember them, you're never going to remember them. So but the facial recognition is so much better. So you'll be like, that's the person. So, and by the way, I don't know if you guys do this, but yeah, just set up the folder system. I tell everyone, I'm like, set up folders. Have your folder that's just personal, aka one-to-one conversations. That's generally the one I'll just scroll through, and then you just go one by one, and you go boom, 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 and we're all good. Yeah.
We need an in Telegram Rolodex app system that will remind you.
People have tried.
There is one.
Yeah. Oh, which one?
Oh my god, everyone is trying to build something, but I'm not seeing any. Like, give me something.
Yeah.
Where are my dApps that are working well?
Well, I met this team at Solana Breakpoint last year. It's called Sleek. Shout out to Tanya and the team. They've since pivoted, but the original idea was the NFC-enabled chip cards that you could tap. Sorry, I know we're a little over time, but I'm just, but is the tap cards that you could like, and then you tap it, it opens Telegram as an app, and then you could like do it. I think they had a hard time like figuring out how to monetize it, so then they've since pivoted. But I think the Telegram bot market has evolved enough that someone should go build that today, and I think it could work. I think you just strip out the card thing. I think it's just like,
I have a card like this, but it's just NFC chip card, and it's like a link tree, and it has everything.
I just do this is just much easier.
Yeah, this is also. Yeah, exactly.
Why overcomplicate it? Anyways, side note.
I think you can also just like, if you put your phones together, it gives contact information.
That's like actual context.
Yeah,
that's like,
yeah.
I want you to have my phone number.
That's true.
I want to connect you on Telegram, and I'll give you my phone number if you need it.
So you can be blocked easily.
Yeah, I can block you easily if you're fucking weird. I actually had that the other day. I went to a Solana Breakpoint thing yesterday, and after Breakpoint, there was some people just like. This man was just talking too much, and then we were just stuck in conversation for 20 minutes. I hope that's not me right now, by the way. Anyways, yeah.
But one rule of life is don't be weird.
Don't be weird.
It was actually one of the things in the bingo that I skipped when it was like a person that you were trying to escape a conversation with. Because sometimes it's just like...
Yeah.
Because you're trying to be nice, but at the same time you're like, okay, it's time to go.
Yeah,
but some people don't get it.
And then the worst part was I was having a really good conversation with someone I actually wanted to like kind of BD a bit with, and then because this guy kept talking, he was like, okay, I'm gonna have dinner now. I was like, and I was like held hostage. And then this guy had the gall to follow up with me on Telegram today and be like, what was your email again, just so I can like keep the records? I'm like, we have a selfie and we're connected on Telegram. What do you need my email for? Are you gonna add me your like fucking email list? I'm good. Like, no.
Newsletter.
Newsletter.
Shower thoughts newsletter.
I'm gonna pass on that one. I just didn't respond. I don't know. I'm sure he's a nice fellow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Should have like a stickers, Telegram Myson stickers, be like out of office.
We should set up a sticker pack, honestly. That's a missed opportunity.
In so many chats that I think it's about time now.
Yeah. Soon enough. Soon enough.
I think a sticker pack
All right.
would be fun though. I'm on
I
board.
think so.
Yeah.
We just need to figure out like a good mascot or a,
Yeah.
I
Milo.
don't know. Yeah.
What would Milo
I'm
look
actually,
like?
by the way, this is a member alpha since we're here. Saul and I are going to sit down tomorrow and really give a long brainstorm or today, I guess. It's technically Thursday midnight here, so today. We're going to sit down in the next 2 days. Like Milo right now has just kind of been like sitting on the shelf. AI has gotten very, very smart in the past year since we've launched Milo. Some updates. That's all I'll say. Yeah.
So much alpha from you today.
He's drinking the big time because
We're in
Sponsored
for
by
a treat.
Tang, Truth Serum, and Groovy Zoda sparkling water. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a silly name.
Wrapping up.
yeah.
Yeah. This will be good. This will be good.
All right.
All right. Well, listen, this was really fun, y'all. I'm excited.
Thanks everyone who joined.
Yeah, thanks everyone who joined. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Ciao.
All right.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.